Hey everyone, I'm Danny Wolf. This is Serena Chen. We have Margot Crawford and Bill Dew over there. And together we make up the digital construction scope team for Dassault Systems SolidWorks. So just a quick shout out to everyone that helped us through the year. Our liaisons are Chin Liu and Sean. Our faculty advisor is Lynn Stein. Our subject matter expert is Mon Milner, and we wanted to give a special shout out to Scott Stanley, who helped us a lot throughout our year and with a lot of technical questions. So Dassault Systems SolidWorks creates a leading computer-aided design product, or CAD product, called SolidWorks. CAD is used to create and iterate on designs for pretty much everything that's manufactured today. SolidWorks allows for the design of individual parts as well as creating assemblies from those parts in order to test complete designs. SolidWorks then allows you to simulate and test your designs and can aid through the process of bringing products to market. In the corner here you can see a assembly that I created in SolidWorks earlier this year for a class, just to give a sense of what it looks like. So we started out with a theory, and that theory was that we think that more engineers is having more engineers in the world is going to be a better thing, and that the more engineers we have, the more innovative solutions we can create in order to solve the world's problems. And our theory is really that CAD is a fundamental step into becoming a fully fledged engineer, and if we can make that process easier, we can actually create more engineers in this world. Dassault Systems SolidWorks came to us with a problem, a prompt, which was that physical assembly is something that's really it's very much how we learn to do things as kids, and if we can take the idea of cardboard boxes and taping them together and the physical assembly process that you have as a kid and bring that into CAD, then we can make CAD easier to use. So we took that prompt and then we thought about how we thought as students in our first year here at Olin, and how we can take that and combine it together. So we asked ourselves, what were our blockers when we were learning how to CAD ourselves in our first year at Olin? And we focused on the fact that understanding the 3D space that exists in front of us is actually kind of difficult, especially on a computer, because you're visualizing this 3D environment and you're bringing it into this two-dimensional screen. And especially for people that haven't played a ton of video games before, this is a different challenge that a lot of people aren't acquainted with. And SolidWorks allows a lot of different professional use cases for getting around your environment and moving parts around. But those are very useful for professionals and maybe not as intuitive for beginner CAD users. So in our first year, we learned how to CAD in an environment that is maybe different than professional engineers are set up with. Often we learned in classrooms with laptops, and those laptops didn't have mice, which is an interesting thing that you may not think about as being a requirement for CAD, but it sometimes is. So we wanted to bring the experience of how do we make that experience the best as possible so people are able to learn how to CAD and kind of interact with their environment in 3D. And we thought, wouldn't it have been nice to just move those parts around with your hands, just to interact with the environment just with your hands? And so that brings us to our solution.
So over the course of this project, we came up with a solution, and it goes kind of as follows. So you open up SolidWorks, and you have an assembly, and you select a part in the assembly, and then you take out your phone, and then you move your phone in space. And when you move your phone, the part that you selected goes with it. And so if you want to move the part from here to there, you just move your phone in the same way. So we implemented a prototype of this, which we have a video of, but just to preface the video, at the top you'll see that we have kind of the user interaction. At the bottom we have a screen capture of CAD, and then in the corner over here we have the screen capture of the phone. So in the video, you can see Margot moving this bolt over to the box. And when she's done doing that, she will select the nut and then she's going to move the nut over to where the bolt in the box is. And she's doing all of this movement with her phone, so moving the nut from here to here, she just moves her phone from here to here. And you can see that she is fairly successful in getting the bolt and the nut to the same place. And so, why did we decide on this solution? Well, the first one is that a lot of people own smartphones, and smartphones come with a lot of physical sensors that tell you where the phone is in physical space, and is really good for just introducing that level of physicality into CAD. Another one is that we're collapsing a lot of controls and making things a lot more intuitive. So before, where you would have to maybe like move apart, in order to move apart, you would have to maybe rotate your view and then move the part and then rotate it again and then kind of rotate the part. Instead, you can just do that in one smooth movement that makes a lot of sense to us. And finally, this is really great for people who work on a laptop, as Danny said before. Laptops, a lot of people who use laptops don't carry around mice with them, unless you're a mechanical engineer, because CADing is really difficult without a mouse. And a beginner CAD user might not have a mouse or might not carry it around all the time. And so being able to have that functionality and not have to struggle with the trackpad and everything as a beginner user makes for a much better experience. So going back to us 4 years ago as students learning how to CAD, now instead of trying to remember what the controls are for rotating a part and figuring it all out on a trackpad, we can just say that if we want this part to go from here to here, we can just do that with our phone. And it's really easy, and we've had a really great first CAD experience. So going forward, we are going to give our prototype to Dassault Systems SolidWorks, and they're going to do some additional development on it because we have a lot of ideas on where this can go forward, and they also have a lot of ideas on where this can go forward. And after that, it's going to undergo a lot of usability testing, and if that all goes well, you might see this in a future Dassault Systems SolidWorks product yourself. So to summarize, we created a prototype app that can move parts in SolidWorks by moving your phone in real life. And we hope that this will make CAD much more accessible to beginner CAD users. Thank you.